We're live. What is up, people of the internet? See if anyone's even going to join today. There's Joshua Coe. How's it going? How is everyone? I am fantastic myself. I finally got a tripod, by the way. You guys are on a tripod instead of just sitting on my desk. I got a tripod that has a phone mount, it has a regular camera mount, and it also has a GoPro mount. And it also goes to like 7 foot tall. So I can get some different angles, shots whenever I shoot videos and stuff. Work has been kicking my ass. I know that feeling too well. Sadly. Did you guys get settled into your new house and all that? By the way? Our GM got pissed at me for not picking up the job quick enough. Coworker stood up for me, so he's calmed down quite a bit. Yeah, that always sucks. Having a boss that's a boss instead of like an actual leader sucks. I know that feeling quite a lot as well. Sadly. Happens all too often, though. You can only do what you can do, so. They give you 2 days of training to learn 3 systems to check people in at the hotel. Yeah, that seems kind of dumb. I was a manager at McDonald's out of high school. I started the job within like a month. I was promoted to one of the managers, and their training system wasn't really a system. It was basically like, hey, we're going to pair you with a worker who also can't do the job very well in the first place. But since no one else is a trainer, we made them a trainer. And so you're going to learn your job in 1 day of working. That's why, like fast food and stuff, I don't get too mad or anything with, I know how all that works. The training isn't there. And it's not the people's fault necessarily because they're not even trained the correct way. So I always made sure whenever I was the manager and stuff, if I had new people on the shift, I would take them with me and show them like all the details and like why you actually do this certain thing in a certain order and why it makes it faster and why it makes it better and more efficient. Usually, in pretty much anything in life, if you can explain to someone why doing it that way is a better way, especially when it comes to jobs and performance type things, then they pick it up faster and easier because you put it together in your head. You make those connections instead of just being like, do this, do this. A lot of people just do that though. Wherever they have people starting and then wonder why they aren't picking it up as fast. Whenever indirectly it's actually pretty much the training's fault. Some people just take a little bit longer than others, and that's completely fine. And jobs need to recognize that. They can't expect you to snap your finger and know exactly how to do something you've never even seen or heard of before. Speaking of snapping your fingers, did you like that transition right there? I watched Avengers Endgame yesterday, and holy crap. I'm not going to say anything about it in this either. I did a video yesterday, right after I came in from watching it. I just recorded a video of me talking about it, but not anything spoilery, and put it up. It was, I would say, 10 out of 10 for me. I'm actually going to take my fiance. Our anniversary is next weekend. So we will have been together for 7 years next weekend. And I think either next weekend or maybe sometime right around then, we're going to go to IMAX, which I've never been to an IMAX. And she's never been to an IMAX theater, and she didn't go watch it. I just went and watched it by myself, just because, and like the only reason I went. I usually don't go opening day, especially to big movies like that, because there's a whole bunch of people. So I went at a time where all the kids were still in school, so there's actually only like 10 people in the theater. So I was basically just an empty theater with me, and I went and watched it, just sat there by myself. I didn't even get popcorn or anything. I didn't want anything to distract me. I just wanted to watch it. And I wanted to make sure that it wasn't spoiled. Anything wasn't spoiled for me before I went and seen it. So I just went there and seen it. But we are going to go watch it in IMAX again. And it'll be her first time seeing it. Whenever we first got together, actually, the first Avengers had just came out. And that's the first movie that I ever took her to see. Google has a cool Easter egg on that. Google Thanos and then click on the glove. Nice. I think I saw a picture of that. In-laws will be here next month. They'll be in Beatrice, which has been our plan. She wants us to eventually get a house with her and the kids. We might be in Lincoln for a bit, so we can save up. Nice. Do whatever works best, man. Gotta look out for you guys. Rocket Jeff. Dropping in to say hi. Hello. Thanks for joining. Always supporting. I have noticed the past couple live streams, there's not near as many people in here. I don't know if that has to do with the notification type things or if people are just not giving a shit. Woo. Have you heard of a channel called Databots? Someone training AI on music from... No, I have never heard of that. I just took an allergy pill, by the way, so I'll probably start sneezing because all the stuff in my nose will be unclogging. Allergies are like super, super bad right now. Everyone, even people that don't normally have allergies, are like complaining about it. I just found a small local band whose concert I might go to on May 1st. Too bad their name was already picked by American hip hop bands, so finding any information about them is surprisingly hard. They should pick a different name. If you're starting a band or anyone you know is starting a band and there's a bigger band with the same name, find a different name. Because especially if they're bigger than you, you're going to get buried. Plus, why would you want a band with the same name as someone else? Chaotic Old Boar did a co-reaction. Nice. I've seen a couple of their thumbnails, but it looked like one of the reaction channels that just like I wouldn't really care to see. I mean, I don't know, I didn't watch it, but I just I don't really watch any of them anymore. I didn't watch too much of them to begin with, but I've kind of lost interest in seeing anybody else. That and with the whole copyright stuff that's going on, pretty much every damn thing's getting blocked. So I feel like pretty soon the reaction whole genre is going to die out because you just can't, like, you keep getting blocked. All the really good songs are getting blocked. They're like even doing it the way I do, where you pause it pretty often during the song and stuff, it's still getting to the point where it's really hard to get something up. So people will find a different way to do things. That was a good rendition of Snuff. Maybe a bit too, I don't know if this is the right word, folksy sounding. But that's only because Corey's howl is so built up in my head. Yeah. That, I mean, we're not going, or I won't be doing covers and stuff to compete with an original. You're not, most of the time, you're not going to beat an original song, especially one that I'm going to do, because I'm going to do ones that I think are really good. It's just my way to have fun, make something, be creative, put my little spin on it, and just have fun with it, create something. So I'm not doing covers to compete or try to be better than the original or anything like that. Just having fun. They reacted to and played Flowers of the Kaleidoscope with Chaotic Old Boar. Nice. How did they do the joint reaction? I'm assuming they did it like through a Skype call or something and just screen recorded it. That's the only way that I would really see that you could do that. I believe it was a Skype call. I'll have to check that out just to see him and check that out. I'm not really concerned with how shit my freaking elbow. Not really too concerned with their channel too much, but it'd be cool to see him. They had him on one side of the screen and them on the other side. Nice. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll actually pull it up on my computer so I don't forget. All right, I got it pulled up so I can actually check it out. There might not be enough people here, but can anyone explain what a visual... Hold on, I'm gonna adjust this up a little bit. I don't know anything about what you just said there. Just out of curiosity, do you have any religion or believe in any god or force that reign in our universe? I am not religious personally. I don't care if anyone is. I don't push my beliefs on anybody else. It doesn't matter to me. But no, me personally, I'm not religious. They have a conversation with him for a while to get to know him before they do the reaction. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Well, I mean, I got it pulled up on my computer here, so I'll check it out after we're done. I have the world's worst memory, so I definitely would have forgot by the time we end the live stream. It'd just be cool to see him. Someone that I've interacted with for a long time. That'd be pretty cool. Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to pull this over here. We're setting my phone down for a second. My wife wants me to take out the trash. Take out the trash? I took out the trash earlier this morning. Ugh. Gotta make myself comfy for this. You ever heard of a band named The Who? It's a Mongolian heavy metal band. It's super cool. I'm pretty sure they've been suggested before. I'm pretty sure. I think I've heard that or saw the name before, but no, I've never listened to them or heard them. I'll be right back. No taco parties without me? No taco parties. I just ate breakfast. I'm an atheist as well. I used to be really awful with it, but I've mellowed out since then. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of pages I visit gotten mean about the Notre Dame burning. I wouldn't consider myself an atheist. I guess the term is agnostic. Like I just don't sway one side or the other. That's why anytime anyone asks me like what I believe, I just say I believe in myself, because that's about the only thing that I need. I believe in myself. I believe that what I do, my actions and my thoughts and my brain makes what happens. So, not for the whole world. I'm not a god, but like for me, I just try to focus on what I can control, because anything that's out of my control is obviously out of my control. So I just do the best I can with what I have. Try to always improve. Try to be nice to people, not because of any religion telling me to, but because you should be a nice person. Try to help other people live a good life, set an example for my kids. I think if you need a religion to tell you to be a good person, then you're a shitty person. I have one of my best friend since kindergarten. He is like the most devoted Christian that I've ever seen in my life. And he's been my best friend since we were 5 years old. He respects me, I respect him. He's actually one of the people who follows the religion instead of picking and choosing what they want to follow. He actually follows it, which I respect 100%. He believes it and he follows it instead of, picking and choosing. That's what I don't really care for. But I mean, it doesn't matter to me. People are going to believe and think whatever they want to think. There's people that think the earth is flat. So obviously there's people out there that are just going to think whatever they want to think. No matter how much evidence they're presented with, no matter how much like science and factual information they're given. So I just focus on me. I don't try to push that off on anybody else. It doesn't matter to me what they believe, as long as they're not assholes. If you're an asshole, I don't like you. Pretty simple. I don't like people that are mean for the sake of being mean. There's no reason for that. There's this documentary on Netflix, The Earth is Flat, and it's damn hilarious. I think Flat Earth is just a joke movement that grew so much that a lot of people took it to heart. I saw a funny picture the other day, and it was from one of the Flat Earth Society pages, and it said something about along the lines of a movement so powerful it's being heard around the world. And the person commented and said, "Say that again, just slower." Like you can't hear it around the world if it's not round. I thought it was funny. Anyway, it was probably funnier on the picture than what I just explained it to be, but whatever they want to do. They want to believe the earth is flat, they can be that. Nice. Yeah, I just don't. I saw Bill Nye. I think it was Bill Nye. It was either him or Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the two. I don't remember. One of those two. And they were talking to someone they were like having a debate about that. And he was saying that one of the highest peaks that you can climb to, you can actually see the curve of the earth from being on Earth. It's so far up, and if like you can see that curvature, how is the earth flat? all the way around. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. That could be a whole rabbit hole. But yeah, I try to base myself on actual fact. As far as religion and all that, I just don't focus on it. It doesn't make any bit of a difference to me. And like if you believe it, you believe it. That's completely fine. Don't try to push it on people. If you don't believe it, just don't believe it. That's fine. Don't try to push it on people. No, that's the only thing that I don't like about either side is that they always try to shove it down your throat, which you just shouldn't do. It's a personal journey, a personal opinion. It's a personal choice. So if you choose that, you choose that. If you don't, you don't. Either way is fine. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people that are the Christian, like they go to church and you see them doing everything that wouldn't be done by an actual Christian who follows what they are supposed to follow. I almost feel like they try to get almost like self-fulfillment out of convincing people that what they think is correct instead of like actually just talking to people about it. If they're interested, they try to like force it on people and get like some sort of self-gratification out of that, which is kind of backwards if you ask me. But anyways, I'll get off the topic of religion and flat earthers. I wish it doesn't matter to me, but in my country, a lot of religious people have power in our government and they use it to attack majority. Yeah. Yeah. That's a problem all over the world, though. That's not just in certain places. I mean, there's certain countries in the world where if you're different, belief system, sexuality, anything like that, they'll like kill you. They have women cover up their faces, and if they ever show it or go against what they are taught, then they're gone. Any of that discrimination in any form, whether it's from religious people, whether it's from like any sort of group discriminating on people for any reason, it's just not good. Not good. Nothing ever will come good out of bad behavior. My thought. I like talking about stuff like that isn't just strictly music on the live stream. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them off. That's kind of what I like these live streams to be. It's like almost just like me talking, discussion. I have a background in psychology. I took psychology in high school and college. So that's like what I'm into. Why people do what they do and why they choose to act certain ways. All of that. So if you want to discuss anything or want me to answer any question, just spout it off. If I'm, for some reason, there would only be very few things that I wouldn't talk about, like personal details of my family. That would be one of them. Do you believe you have free will? I do. 100%. That's kind of what I said earlier, is like when people ask me what I believe, I just say I believe in myself. I believe that what I do makes what happens in my life. Like, obviously, there are circumstances, there's accidents. I could be driving down the car later on today and get sideswiped and I could die. That's a completely real possibility. I could go out in front here. There's a road right there. I could go out there, get hit by a car. stuff like that can happen. It just can. I don't live my life, and I choose to not live my life worrying about all the little things like that because I would drive myself fucking crazy if I did. That's where a lot of people with, I feel like, with a high anxiety and stuff, especially when it comes to parenting. Like, I was watching Jordan Peterson. I talked about him a lot on this channel or on the live streams. Jordan Peterson is a very good psychologist. He's got several books out. He has one called 12 Rules for Life or 12 Rules of Life or something like that. It's a very good book. It's a lot of psychology based things like why we act the way we do, why our brain functions the way it does, the the like the building blocks basically to what we are and how we act and how our brains work. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, or he's done podcasts with Joe Rogan. There's I think 2 or 3 podcasts they did where like very very good like smart discussions. So if you guys are interested in that, check that out. Jordan Peterson. He also has a YouTube channel where all of his he has little lectures and stuff like that he puts up on there. Have you ever experienced depression in some phase in your life? I believe yes, a little bit. There was a time, I've talked about this before as well, but you seem like you're a newer person here. So, for one, thanks for joining and thanks for actually asking some questions. There was a time in my life where I'll say a lot of things were going real wrong. Like, I've had a pretty good life. I'm not going to say that my life has been the absolute shittiest ever. I grew up in like a middle class. My parents weren't rich, but I definitely had food. I had shelter. And then my dad has been an alcoholic for my dad and every other male in my family, basically going back forever, has been an alcoholic. So that got worse and worse and worse, and it finally got to a point where I was like getting into physical altercations with my dad, and he ended up taking my pickup truck that I had at the time and driving about 70 miles an hour into a tree, and that was pretty bad. That was a pretty bad time. At the same time that all that was going on, my grandma was going through cancer. She had lung cancer and it spread to her brain. And my grandma was like the absolute nicest person in the world. She would like invite people that didn't have families to our family holidays and stuff like that so that they would feel included and feel like they were a part of a family. She was that sort of person. And to see her, I had my dad, that whole thing was getting to the absolute worst point at the same time as watching my grandma just basically wither away into like she didn't even know who we were sometimes, and all of that. And right after she actually passed away is whenever my dad got into that accident, driving drunk, ran into a tree with my truck. So that was not good in a lot of different ways. I was in a relationship that was very, very, very toxic. I had been with her since I was 16 years old, and we pretty much grew up together, and we weren't good together. Like, we should have ended it way long before we did, but that I was in that relationship at that time, so we just brought out the worst in each other. And I was young, I was immature. It was a very hard time in my life. That's the only time I could actually say that I think looking back, knowing what I know now and having studied the brain and psychology and how our stuff works and depression and all that stuff, I feel like that was a point in my life where that was the absolute worst. And I started doing things and acting like someone that I'm not. And I'm not very proud of any of that. But I mean, I was young. It was a very, very hard time. And that's around the time where I basically didn't have any friends. I basically stayed to myself. I was in just my little world, and it was a real shitty world at that point. So yes, in a long answer, yes, and that's why. But after studying and getting myself out of that, like I sat down with myself one day. Like I think this is important. If any of you guys are struggling or with depression and stuff like that, there are chemical imbalances in your that could be in your brain. That's factual. That's proven. So a lot of the time, though, if you talk to people that are depressed, it's because they're just going through a rough patch. Like they're just going through a little rough patch. So I feel like if you get your mind to a place, and I think it's an active choice as well, to get your mind in a place where you sit down and have a real tough conversation with yourself. And that's what I did. I'll just tell you what I did, and you can take it for whatever you want. It got to a point where I sat down with myself and I was like, I'm doing this. This is not who I want to be in my life. This is not who I was raised to be. My parents didn't raise me to be some shithead. My parents were a good example as far as being parents and being good to people. My dad has a problem with alcohol, and that is continuing to this day. So, um, yeah, it's I think that if you're able to, and some people might have to, seek counseling, and there's no shame in that whatsoever. Like if you need someone who is a professional and trained to do this and help you through thoughts and help you through getting past the little brain blockages, 100% do that. But what I'm talking about is basically going through a rough patch in your life and getting through that, and not like clinical depression and that sort of thing. That's something that you kind of got to deal with in a different way. Sometimes some people are headstrong. That's how I am. I basically sat down with myself. I don't want to be this. Goes back to your free will sort of question as well. I made the choice to be who I want to be, and I made the choice to get rid of that relationship. I made a choice to distance myself a little bit from my dad in that whole situation. I made a choice to get out more and like actively seek out things that made me more happy rather than just sticking to myself all the time. And I started learning more about psychology and more about what makes up the mind and choices and all of that sort of thing. Started diving deeper and deeper into that, reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff that people that are smarter than me in areas that I wanted to learn more about, and yeah, doing all that. So I basically made the choice to make myself into what I am. Metal News PL, one of the better YouTube channels about metal reactions. Thanks. Cheers from Poland. Cheers from the United States. Mix in here. What's up, dude? This is actually insane. I'm currently trying to have one. I didn't see that whenever I was talking about what I was talking about. So if you could clarify what that meant. 12 Derek. You're currently trying to have one. Still no luck. Mick, I deal with depression on a daily basis. I deal with it pretty well. I know I have reasons to live, and my life could always be much, much worse. That always pulls me through. Well, that metal. That, finding an outlet, too, is another really, really good thing to do. Like, for me, I started playing guitar whenever I was 8, so that was kind of my outlet. I made a band. I started playing shows, going out in front of crowds and playing music that I made, and seeing the reaction to that, and seeing like people interact with me. That was cool, and that was sort of my outlet at that time. And then the band kind of fizzled out, and I just started making music on my own. So that became like my thing. I bought the drummer from my band's drum set, and I started just making all my own music. Went to the studio and recorded, and that's whenever I made up the Alone Above Earth thing. And that name comes from that, like basically feeling like I was alone that whole time period of my life. Like, it made me feel like I had nobody. I didn't have anything, so I made myself alone, and I was just almost like floating above the earth by myself and making myself into what I wanted. So that's where the actual name comes from. I'm going to therapy right now, trying to force myself to act different. Joshua Coe. I'm a Christian and have depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. It can happen to anyone. I'm here if anyone wants to talk. I did something that I'm not proud of. I'm off work till tomorrow morning. Your job has been... Yeah, depression, and like everyone, I this is just a personal opinion. I feel like people these days use the word depression too much to describe any sort of negative feeling they have. And that's 100% just my personal opinion, so that's not like a fact. That's just my thought. But looking at it, you see everyone saying these days, "Oh, I'm depressed." They break up with their boyfriend, or their boyfriend breaks up with them. "Oh, I'm depressed." Or you go through a little rough patch in your life. "Oh, I'm depressed." Depression is a very, very real thing. The consequences of depression are a very, very real thing. But just because you aren't feeling good one day, that's not depression. Just because your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you because they didn't like how you treated them in a relationship, that's not depression. That's called sadness. That is a temporary feeling. Depression is constant. Like the constant. People with actual depression usually have very large mood swings. Like, it will be one extreme or the other. They're very, very, very happy, or very, very, very pissed off, angry, sad. It's that roller coaster that is either on top of the world or crashing. That is basically depression. And that requires help a lot of the time. Just because you're temporarily sad about certain situation doesn't make depression. And that's why I say, I think looking back now, that time period of my life, it was about a year and a half, where I think that I was depressed. I caged myself in. I didn't act like myself. I did things that I'm definitely not proud of. I acted like a different person, and while I was doing it, I chose to turn off the side of my brain that was telling me that this is not what you should be doing. So that, to me, with all the other factors that I just talked about, my dad, my grandma going through all that, and her passing away, seeing her just like wither into what she wasn't, like a person she didn't didn't ever want to be. Like, it was bad. That whole time in my life, and it was a prolonged period, was a very rough time. And I think that going through all of that, especially all of that at once, made me much stronger. Now, like, I went through a period. I have never talked about this, by the way. This, what I'm about to say, my dad got really, really, really sick. And like, even though my dad has struggled with being an alcoholic, all of that, my dad, when he's not drinking, is the absolute best person in the world. He obviously made me. He made half of me. Half of me is my dad. I love my dad. And he got very, very sick. Nothing to do with alcohol. He got very, very sick. It was, I think, 2 years ago. And he was very, very close to dying. The hospital called my mom, and my mom called me while I was at work, and they didn't think he was going to make it through the day. He was in a coma, and that feeling, like, I handled that much, much better than I ever thought I would. And I think that is just because I went through so much before, if that makes sense. Made me like mentally almost prepared to handle more shit as it came in. But he actually pulled through. He was in a coma for like, I think, 10 days. And then we were seriously at the point of making like funeral plans for him. And my mom called me one morning and said, guess what just happened? And I said, what? Because I thought the worst. And she said, your dad just called me on the phone. And I was like, well, let's go. So we went to the hospital, saw him. He woke up from the coma. He started getting better, got released from the hospital. That was a very hard time as well, seeing your dad in a coma. And yeah, that was not good. But going through all that stuff in the past kind of helped me. Joshua Coe, my GM made me feel like a joke and I tried to choke myself out. My wife understandably was pissed at me. Yes, it's hard to be open about it, but I trust I won't be judged by you guys. No judgment here, man. You just got to look out. I'm not going to tell you that was the good thing to do. That wouldn't be true. But I understand your feeling, but you need to look out for you. You need to look out for your health, your sanity, all of that. That always comes first above any job, above anything. That always should come first. You need to look out for you. And doing things to inflict anything on yourself other than positivity and making yourself feel better shouldn't be done. So I'm not judging you because of that. That this isn't me judging. This is me like reinforcing. I don't like your wife. I would probably understand her getting pissed. That's not a good thing. But for now, I just hope I don't need to take medication to not feel like I want to kill myself. There's some cases where I would suggest, and this is obviously I'm not a doctor, so this is just a suggestion. If you have it available, There are some places that will do a DNA test where they actually take blood samples from you and test it and check for different levels of things in your body. And there can be there can be chemical imbalances in your brain that have been there since birth. That is an actual real thing, and the only way that that can be fixed or kind of supplemented is through some of that. But I feel like that's very rare that that's actually an imbalance in your brain rather than a feeling and sort of a life circumstance type thing. But it's that again, it just comes down to I don't know your circumstance and I don't know everything about it. And through the internet, through this, I wouldn't be able to do that. So that would be something I would highly suggest. Well, you said you're already in therapy, right? So I would suggest keep going with that. Keep trying to stay positive. Surround yourself with people, or here in this community where I try to help you guys and be positive and be that sort of reinforcement. Try to surround yourself with people like that and be part of things that are making you feel better rather than feel worse, and actively make it a choice to seek out things that are making you feel better. A hobby, a friend that makes you forget about everything for a while, uh, anything that isn't drugs, alcohol. Don't turn to those things to get you out of that mindset. Seek out positivity. Go to the gym, run, go for a walk, anything like that that boosts all the good things in your brain, in your body. I would suggest actively trying to seek those out. That that will make a difference. I deal with my depression very privately. I don't make sure that I don't take out my feelings on anyone else unless they deserve my wrath. I understand that you being a friend. That is me being a friend. They keep the DNA samples for cloning purposes. That would be awesome. I'm very against suicide, so I've been quite ashamed of myself. My parents have been very non-judgmental and have been there for me. You know more than anybody on here anyways that I'm available to talk. I'm not I can't respond to everything as soon as it comes in. Sometimes I'm at work, sometimes I'm doing things, but if you guys ever need to just kind of talk, there's 10 people in here right now. Like, this is a very small, tightly knit community, I feel like anyways, and that's one of the reasons I really, really like this and really like doing the live streams, is to get to kind of connect in a different way with you guys and to kind of help out. So if you guys ever need anything, send me a message on Instagram, or I have Twitter now if that's what you like to use. I'm going to be setting up a Facebook account as well for Alone Above Earth. So that will be there. I just want to make myself as available as possible for anyone that needs. Mick's gotta go. Break time is over. Wish I could stay longer on the conversation. Very interesting stuff. Thanks for stopping by, Mick, especially on break at work. Hope the rest of your day at work's fantastic, or as fantastic as being at work can be. On a positive note, I had tuna salad with crackers and a chocolate crunch bar for breakfast. For breakfast? Did you eat the chocolate bar first, though? Because that's what real adults do. The other night, I think it was the night before last night, I looked at my fiance and I was like, I don't really feel like doing anything for dinner. Let's order pizza. That's like the most adult thing ever. I don't feel like making something. Let's just order pizza. I'm glad that I actually get to make that decision now. See you later, Mick. Ate the tuna salad first. How are pizzas in the USA? I've only had pizzas from the USA, so I'll say pretty good. I love pizza. I'm very picky. I'm a very picky eater, so I basically just get like a pepperoni pizza. So it basically just has crust, sauce, cheese, pepperoni. Sometimes I'll get a little bit wacky, a little bit crazy with it, and get some Canadian bacon or ham. But for some reason, here it's called Canadian bacon. I heard that they are not like here. They don't mix two flavor in one pizza, like half one, half another. I've never seen that. Like, if I wanted to, I would order. Whenever I get ham on mine, I get pepperoni and ham. So some people put like pineapple and all that stuff on their pizza. I don't care for pineapple, and that's like an internet war. Pineapple on pizza. But I like pizza. If I could eat pizza every day and not become 700 pounds, I would. I would. 100%. What about candy pizza? They have, I think, I don't know about candy, but kind of dessert pizza. I worked at a place for like 2 weeks uh, that had dessert pizzas. They had like the whole buffet set out, and they made like s'mores pizza, which is basically just like a pie that they made. It was really really good. There'd be like Oreo dessert pizzas and all that, but it wasn't really like a pizza. It was more just like a pie that they served alongside the buffet where all the pizza. Well, beetroot on pizza. I've never heard of that ever. Probably because I'm such a picky eater. I don't really eat very much of anything. I basically stick to beef, chicken, eggs, and pizza, Pop Tarts. I definitely am one of the people who I have to go to the gym, and it's good that I like going to the gym because if I didn't, I would be I would be overweight very quickly. My wife and I had a barbecue brisket pizza one of our last days in San Diego. Nice. That sounds disgusting. Barbecue brisket pizza. I mean, hopefully it was good, but that doesn't sound like it would be appealing to me. Whenever I was growing, I've always been that way though. Like whenever I was growing up, my parents always used to get irritated that I didn't eat what they would make. I just didn't like anything. Ugh. Ow. Hit the wall. I hate that this light reflects off my glasses so much. Do you guys cook manioc? Is that how you say that? Whenever you were in a barbecue? I've never heard of that either, so I'm assuming no. From what I do, anyways, I basically just barbecue either hamburgers or chicken. A lot of people do like briskets or they have smokers and smoke like things in it. I've never actually done that or had that though. Ah. Hamburgers, like beef, cow meat. Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking. Like, you don't have to tell me specifically, but like, where in the world? Brazil. Nice. I think I've only had, well, I know I've only had a couple people commenting from Brazil. I'd have to look at the analytics, but I'm viewed pretty well in Brazil. For a long time, Finland was the highest, like the highest subscriber rate was actually from Finland rather than the United States, where I'm actually from. But the past couple months, it's kind of tipped towards the United States. I think that was the time where I was doing a whole bunch of bands from Finland and all of Europe and all that. So that's probably why they were getting higher. Oh yeah. YouTube show you data like this. Yes. I can look at ethnicities that are watching. I can look at, or not ethnicity, what's it called? Demographic. Yeah, like all the demographics. It gives you like a map and it shows you like what percentage from each country your viewers are from a selected amount of time. It's pretty cool. And that's something a lot of people don't pay attention to. And I think that's another thing that gives me a little bit of an edge as far as search and all that stuff. I actually look at the analytics and I actually like see age groups and like it shows male or female. The female population on my channel is a lot smaller. It's like I think 5% or something like that. Which, I mean, if you're doing metal reviews, I anticipated that a little bit, but I would like to be branching out a little bit. You know, I've been making some different style videos. I'm gonna be doing a sort of vlog or a more random video. Sometimes it's gonna be like a what you think of whenever you think of a vlog, like a throughout my day or week sort of thing. And sometimes, like yesterday, I did that one. I came home from watching the Avengers Endgame, and I just wanted to talk to the camera and get all the energy out and talk about what I thought about it without spoiling anything. So I did that. And that's what I want to do. Like moving forward, I'm going to start doing, I've have 2 covers up already. I did one more light and then snuff, did 2 acoustic covers. I'm going to start branching off a little bit from just doing reactions because, like I said earlier, I feel like reactions are going to die. Like, I don't think that's going to be a thing very much longer. And I don't want to be behind the curve, for one. And I also don't want to just be a reaction channel. So I have a lot more to offer, I feel like, than just musical reaction. Like, I could review things too. I could like one of the things I would like to do is go back and revisit some songs like I really liked growing up and do like a review on them. Talk about the certain sections and all that stuff. Basically what I do for a reaction video, only for a song that I actually know and a lot of people know and a lot of people love. Also, I'm going to keep doing the covers. I'm going to be doing more acoustic covers. I'm going to be doing more just in general covers, making songs into things. So there will be music content, and I also am going to branch off a little bit and do just sort of my own thing, like the vlog sort of thing, or take you guys with me whenever I do things. Another good music channel concept is good cover songs. What I've seen people actually make good covers need to put a lot of effort and time to videos. If you haven't, check out the 2 that I've done so far. And that I've talked about this a couple times already, but doing that, like my own sort of music stuff, and there will be my own actual music as well, original music. I'll be doing some of that. That's going to open up some doors to maybe collaborate with people as well, because like it's real hard to collaborate on a reaction, and I think that may open up some more doors once it starts getting out there a little bit. So show off my talent, what I can do, and have fun, make some stuff. That's the whole purpose of doing this. Make some stuff, have fun. I'd like to see you react to your favorite guilty pleasure bands. I don't really have any guilty pleasure bands. I had someone ask me about that before. If I listen to something, I listen to it. I'm not ashamed of listening to things. I listen to a lot of different stuff. I listen to some pop music. I listen to a lot of different stuff. Sean Murphy. How's it going with everyone? I'm doing great. Hope you're doing great. Brian, the vocal coach, reacts to death metal. Yeah, if I wanted to just sucker people into views, I could just add vocal coach into the name of whatever I do, because apparently that's the cool thing to do these days. That seriously is like half the reason why I am gonna like be mixing in other things, and I don't want to be known as just a reaction channel, because mainly because of the whole stigma of reaction channels. Because even whenever I think of reaction channels, I don't think of them in a positive way the majority of the time. I just don't. There's so many people out there that are just like, from the couple vocal coach ones that I've seen, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I knew more vocal technique stuff than what they were talking about. And vocals is my least knowledgeable thing by far. That's my weakest point by far. And I don't know, they just put that in the title a lot of the time. There are some I did see one the other day. I can't remember what the name of it was, but she was talking about Architects, the vocalist from Architects, and talking about all the stuff he was doing. She actually knew what she was talking about. But I think a lot of people do it just for the views, like just because someone wants to see what a vocal coach would say, but what they're getting is someone that's just saying they're a vocal coach and not actually knowing what the hell they're talking about. And that's one of the, like, seriously, that is one of the main reasons why I'm going to be branching off and doing a lot of different stuff, because it's not, I don't want to, for one, I don't want to just be known as a reaction channel. I would like to show off my ability and my, like, be creative and make my cover songs and make my own original music and take songs and spin them into something else completely. I think that'll be really fun. Another idea that I've thought about doing, and I actually started making one the other day, is taking taking a drum track from a popular song. Like the one I was writing to the other day was Toxicity by System of a Down. Like everyone knows that song. Everyone knows that drum pattern for Toxicity. So I basically took that and I am writing a whole different song to the drum track. So you're getting basically the drums from Toxicity, but I'm making it into a completely different song, completely different feel, all of that. Which is challenging for me because you're taking a for I know that song and every time I hear the drums, that's stuck in my head. So it's like I got to flip that off and just kind of focus on the drum pattern as if I hadn't heard it before and write guitar to the drum pattern rather than trying to cover it or do anything like that. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually do that before. So that would be like an actual original thing to do. Those people make me want to throw them into a cardboard box and send them to Alibaba. Yeah. Yeah. Those people make me want to not be associated with them or reaction channels whatsoever. I really like to do reactions though, like, and I like to show people more into the music, and that's why I started doing it. Was I think I have some actual value to provide, and that's why a lot of people like my videos, because I actually know what I'm talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then I don't talk about it. Yes, it is very nice to see a whole bunch of people watching your video, but am I going to talk about some dumb shit or put vocal coach in my title of the video whenever I'm not a vocal coach? No. Just to get people to click on it. I'm not going to do that. I would rather slowly build. Like I think it's incredible that we have 7,320 something subscribers right now. And I started this channel like right before November. So within 6 months, we got 7,000 subscribers. That's insane. That's incredible. I'm very, very proud of that. And I'm more proud of the fact that there's a core audience here, you guys, that are always supporting me and always like being here, talking, being friendly, having a good time. It's just awesome. I would much rather have a smaller channel and build slowly than have my channel explode and have a bunch of people who don't give a shit about what I'm doing or me as a person. So I have a feeling with all of like branching out into some other stuff, then my channel is going to slow down a little bit as far as growth. It could take off more. I don't know. Like, I know like covers of songs, and whenever you have people that make a really cool cover of a song you like, to me anyways, whenever I hear that, I want to share it. So the shareability of cover songs and kind of taking a song and spinning it into a different way, I think that shareability is a lot more present than it would be with a reaction video, which is cool as well. So I'll be doing those more often. I'll be doing, like I said, the vlogs, kind of just making videos more often. And I will also keep doing some of the reactions, but it won't be every single video is a reaction like it has been. Just so everyone knows. One of my favorite channels started last year at 73 subscribers. It's been just over a year and he's at around 130,000. That's how it works. I just want to keep going, keep progressing, keep improving. Just keep going. Consistency pays off. I really sucks. I had the problem this last week with the editing program. That pissed me off. I was all ready. I was ready to edit, get all these videos out, and then my program just kept glitching out, and it made my whole computer glitch out and freeze up. And then I finally realized that it was the actual update for the editing software itself that was causing the whole issue. So I uninstalled the whole program and reinstalled it, and that fixed it. So then I was back on the road again, but I was pissed off that all my motivation to get all this done was out the window by then. It was just frustrating. Are you watching Game of Thrones? Sorry for the randomness. I'm completely fine with randomness. Whenever people don't ask me questions, I gotta try to keep this going instead of just answering something and talking about it. So I appreciate randomness. Anything in these live streams goes. That's what this is for. So Game of Thrones, I am not keeping up with it. I would like to. I don't have a lot of time. I'm very, very busy. I'm assuming you don't know. I do the YouTube channel here. I also make my own music. I also work a full-time factory job, so that takes up like 40 hours of my week there. I go to work at 5:30 in the morning and get home at 5 o'clock p.m. So that takes up a large portion of my day throughout the week, every single week. And I also have a side business where I have a photo and video business where I shoot like family photos or wedding photos or promos for businesses, and I shoot wedding videos or music videos or promos for video promos for businesses and stuff. So I keep myself very, very busy. And I did borrow the first season of Game of Thrones from a dude that I work with, and I watched the first season, and I really, really liked it. And I now have the second season from him. I'm gonna start watching the second season, and then just kind of slowly get caught up as I can. Favorite characters so far? It's okay if you don't remember their names. I like the little dude. What's his name? Yeah. The little Lannister dude. He's funny. the actor who plays that dude is also really cool. But yeah, I just like his like wit and everything, the way that he's written in the story so far. I really like that. I'm only one season in, so it's not like I've had a whole bunch of time to get, character development and all that stuff. And then every time you do like start to like a character, they get murdered. So wow, you're still way back in Game of Thrones. Best advice I can give you: don't get attached to anyone. Yeah, that's basically what I was just saying. Anytime you're like, oh, this character's cool, and then they get stabbed, bam, head chopped off, all that. So I have learned that so far. I wish I had more time to watch it. One of these days, I have sometime in July, the factory I work for shuts down for a week to do inventory and all that. So I'll probably, if I don't before then, I'll probably just sit down and binge watch the whole season. And that's basically the only way that I get anything done as far as watching things anymore. And Game of Thrones is hard because I have really small kids, so I don't turn that stuff on while they're awake and able to see it. So that also limits any time that I do have to watch it. I'm usually sitting there with my kids, and I'm not gonna have them watching that. They're real small, so. Are there any shows that irritate the hell out of you? For me, it's comedy shows that do nothing but political jokes. Yeah, I'm not into political comedy whatsoever. Like I was talking about earlier, people are going to think what they think, and I just don't really care for that sort of comedy. It's just not for me. But as far as shows that irritate the hell out of me, I guess if I'm not interested in it, I don't really turn it on. So it's not. I wouldn't have seen any of them that irritate me. I have very little time to sit down and watch something. So if I do sit down to watch something, I pick something that I know I'm going to like and it's going to be worth my time. Tim, how you doing? Greetings from Germany. Thanks for joining from Germany. Greetings from the United States. I'm doing great. I'm always great. Hope you're doing well. You should watch, when you have the time, Steven Universe with your kids. It's a pretty amazing cartoon. The educational, emotional. Oh, nice. Steven Universe. Hi, greetings from Finland. There's someone else in here from Finland too. Thanks for joining. I can't ever get the time differences right in my brain hole. I try to mix up whenever I do the live streams, kind of alternate them. That way people from all around the world have the best opportunity to come in and join. It's 9:30 p.m. here. Yeah, see, it's 1:30 in the afternoon here. Nice to see you. Awesome videos with Nightwish, by the way. It's 8:31 p.m. here. Nice. $2:23 there. So you're only at 1 hour ahead of my time zone. 8:30 p.m. here in South Africa. I really want, this is completely off topic from anything, but I really want to do some traveling. I've never been out of the United States ever. Even like Canada or Mexico, I've never been anywhere. And I've not even been to most of the United States, so I should probably start there, going and exploring and traveling and seeing more things than I've seen. That's one thing I really want to do soon. It's hard though, like having the little kids. Like my kids are young, so 1 week until I see Ginger live. Nice. They just announced a North American tour. I saw, and there is a show that's like 2.5 hours away from me. So I'm not sure. I could go see Ginger, but I don't know if I really want to drive to where it's at because that's a real sketchy. I don't really like to go there. But that's by far the closest one that they have. So I don't know. I don't know. I sent you an email about the Ginger tour. Did you get the email? Did you send it to the email that I was talking about? Because I haven't checked it. So I might have. Let me. I'll check it. If you guys are interested, by the way, there's some people in here that haven't been in here in the live streams before. You know how I start off every single video? I say, "What is up, people of the internet?" That. If you would like to be featured on my channel saying that, like doing that, I thought it'd be a cool idea to throw it out to you guys. And if you want, film yourself saying "What is up, people of the internet" in a funny way, or like in a random location or something like that. I just think it would be funny if it was a funny way, but you can do it however you want and upload that on your YouTube channel and keep it set to unlisted, and then either email me or send me through Instagram or Twitter. You can send me a direct message with the link to your video, so I will be able to open it and no one else will be able to open it. Or you can put it public on your channel, whatever works. Just don't have it private, because then I can't see it. And then I will download it and use it as an intro for one of my videos, so you will get featured on the intro of a video. I think that would be a cool idea. So if you're interested in that, the email that I set up for it is aloneaboveearthofficial@gmail.com. So if you're interested in that, you can email me the link, or you could send it to me on Instagram, which my name is Brian Sweno1, BrionSweno, and then the number 1. It's the same on Instagram and Twitter. So if you're interested in that, do that. I wanted to confirm that I have the email address correct. The email address is aloneaboveearthofficial@gmail.com. I have a male friend, he's a headbanger as well. I introduced him to Ginger, and boy, just like women on vocals. Yeah, people like that are just stupid. It shouldn't matter whether she's a female or not. She's like one of the best vocalists around right now. That's not the real Germany, all that dumb stuff with pretzels and stuff. If you want to see real Germany, visit something like Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt. Hopefully I pronounced those correctly. I probably go. I really want to see some of the stuff uh, in the United States first, because like I said, I've never been on vacation. I've never taken time to like actually just go see something or experience something, and I think I'm going to start with just doing that. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know how or what I'm going to go see or where I'm going to go, but I would really like that. It's just not an option right now. Like I don't have enough time. I can't take time off of my job, and on top of that, I have the side business where I shoot photos and videos for clients, and then on top of all of that, I have the YouTube channel, and all of my children are so small that it would be just a large pain in the ass to take them on like a real long drive or something. So guys, it's been a great time talking to you. You are so supportive and kind. I'm really happy to be a part of this. Nice. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Keep your head up, man. Just know everything will be all right. Keep the positivity. Do things, actively seek out things to make yourself happier. Exercise, go for a walk, go explore, go see some places. Hope everything goes well. All right, I think I'm actually going to cut this live stream a little bit short today. Well, not short. It's been an hour and a half already, but shorter than what I normally do. And I'm going to get outside and go exercise in the sunlight for once because it's actually nice outside. So I'm going to head off here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go check out some of the recent videos I posted. I posted a Snuff cover, Snuff by Linkin Park. Snuff by Slipknot. I did an acoustic version of that. I also did One More Light by Linkin Park. Go check that out if you haven't. Those are very, very good. I'm very proud of what we did with those. So if you haven't, check those out. Also, if you're interested, I went yesterday and watched the Avengers Endgame movie, and I put up a little video of me talking about that. There's no spoilers in it, so if you haven't seen it and are interested in my thoughts about it and don't want the movie to be ruined, check that out as well if you're interested in that. And just thank you guys again for the support. Thank you for being here, hanging out, having a good time, being friendly in the community we have here. It's really, really cool. So thank you guys. I'm going to stop rambling now. I'll see you maybe later today or probably tomorrow.